Okay, so my sound works. That is good. It would be a very master doge thing to do, to go the entire stream without my mic working. I mean, I did it once with Black Blizzard. I could do it again. And I paused it for some reason. I also need to mute it completely. I'm such a professional. All right, hello everybody. I am very sorry that I did not get to streaming earlier. I basically the afternoon was basically just griefed by CVS, you know, the fate worse than death and all that. But you know, I can also only stream for about an hour today, unfortunately. But hey, streaming for an hour is better than not streaming at all, and I have a feeling that I wouldn't be able to do much more than an hour on my own anyway. So what we are doing today, because I'm basically just stalling until my Corsair K70 gets here, and I can like actually play Geometry Dash on it, or at least see how I can play Geometry Dash on it. Today, what we were going to be doing is first fixing this, and then raising this up a little bit. I had my dad, or I didn't have my dad watch the last stream. My dad watched the last stream, and he mentioned that, hey, is it normal that your audio is like this? And I told him that I've been trying to fix it for 3 years, and I still have not found a solution. So what we are going to be doing today is we are going to be playing Trackmania, which I've known about for a decent amount of time. It was whenever Nepesta first did like the 21-hour stream during one of the times where his sleep schedule was just complete garbage. So basically how it works is you have a bunch of tracks, and you have to, it's like any racing game, you have a bunch of tracks, you have to make it to a goal in a certain amount of time. If you do it under that time, the game will give you a medal. So using and these are like increased difficulty, so white is easiest, and then green, blue, red, and black. You need a gold medal on every single track for the black races to unlock. So there's bronze, which you can see I have here, silver, which you could see I have here. I don't think I have any. Yeah, and then golds, which are like in theory, they are the fastest times for that course. However, if you look over here, there is a secret fourth one. This is known as the author time. I'm guessing it is called that because it's the time that the author or the creator of the course got. I don't know. And the best way I can describe author times is basically just like, it's basically like shiny hunting in Pokemon, in that the two most likely outcomes are either you do it first try with no issues, or by the time you actually manage to do it, it is 30 years have passed, and you now have an apartment, a partner, and probably a few $100,000 of college debt. So yeah, most of these author times have been pretty fun to get. This one was not at all, and this was basically the same, just I haven't gotten it yet. So we're just going to go through and do every single one of them other than AO6, because I'm not doing that. So the controls in general are actually like fairly simple. It's literally just the 4 arrow keys. I think you can change some things, but generally it's not all that much better. I mean, unless you get like unless you get strain on your hand. And once again, I have the issue of how does my volume always end up being an issue? Should probably also turn the sounds way down. But not all the way down. Jesus. Okay, yeah, there we go. So you'll a lot of times you'll notice like a transparent car going, like following the same route. That is the ghost car. That is basically, if you've played any racing games before, you know what a ghost car is. It's basically just a replay of your best time on that specific track. So as you can see, this one, and when you get to a checkpoint, it'll first of all tell you your current time, and then it'll tell you the time of, like, the time difference between your current attempt and the ghost racer. So yeah, it's very simple. It's kind of like Geometry Dash in that it's like really simple, to like get into, but actually getting good at it requires, first of all, a lot of time, second, a lot of patience, and third, a lot of muscle memory spamming. But also, you just generally need like good knowledge of the game mechanics. So like when's the best time to drift, what drift pattern works best, etc., etc. So, but generally, you want to try to limit your drifting as much as possible. So, yeah, I think that's most of what I wanted to say. Most of this was said because I'm probably going to be turning this into a YouTube video at some point. But yeah, I figured I might as well, especially since this is I think it's the first time in like many years where I have streamed something other than GD. So I'm still, it's mostly just also a way for myself to get into the... You know what, I think what would be best is if we came back to this one later, because I have a feeling that if I continue trying to get it, I'm just gonna get mad. So yeah, we'll go on to... this one's a little bit tricky, this one is too. Let's do the bottom row, let's go across the bottom row. So yeah, I'm getting more used to playing Geometry Dash on keyboard. I beat an insane demon yesterday called Rerust, and it was probably the single dumbest experience I've ever had. Well, first of all, let me make sure the audio is of reasonable levels. I kind of forgot to keep track of that.
So yeah, first of all, tell you your current time.
Yeah, it's fine. So yes, Rerust. I mean, I assume everyone knows, or at least most people that care enough about GD to watch me know about what Rust is. Rerust is basically that, but not impossible. That's the best way I can describe it. So I pick it up because I want to beat something to try to get used to. I want to beat something actually hard on keyboard, and I've been looking for an excuse to play it anyway. So yeah, so after like learning it and all that, and like seeing what backgrounds I can do, I start going for 20 to 100 because I cannot resist the comedic value of having 6 and 20 to 100 contemporaneously. So I do that. It takes me probably like a third of my attempt count, funnily enough. And then when I start playing from 0, basically instantly fluke to 87. Do that, and I, like, not surprised, 6 to 87 fluke. It would have been nice if I could fluke it from 6, but I did not expect to. Especially considering 87 is one of 3 major choke points in the, like, typical Rust ending. So, you do that. A couple attempts later, I get 95, which is the third of 3 choke points in the ending. And then I beat it, like, really shortly after, I think, like, 3 minutes after. So, yeah, my only 2 deaths past the pre-drop, so, like, past the first 20%, were 87 and 95. So it was probably probably the dumbest experience I've ever had on an Insane Demon, and likely the dumbest experience I will ever have on an Insane Demon. But, it felt good to actually beat something, and apparently it's, like, around, ultrasonic and, like, layout difficulty, which I don't know if I agree with necessarily, but whatever the case may be, to have a level of that difficulty done in under 500 attempts was, especially considering how washed I am and how, like, I've been getting used to keyboard, I will absolutely take sub 500. That is awesome. Alright, let's see. Minus 0.16. Do I get author off of that? No. Yeah, and some of the author times are... I'm not going to say they're easy, but they're easier to get. And then some, like AO6, some, like, require you to make a sacrifice to the devil or something to get the author time. Like, I don't understand. I think most people that have gone for the author time on that track specifically have basically said it's, like, completely luck-based. 0.04? Is that enough? No. You figured as much. Yeah. That's one of the hard things about this game, is that no matter what happens, it is going to be very common that you're like a couple hundredths of a second off of the author time, and you're just gonna have to deal with that. Because, like, this game is so... I'm not gonna say it's entirely luck, but, like, so many things have to go right that you're probably gonna be decently off. Like, 0.06. Is that enough? No! Still! Wow! Although I do feel like I'm actually, like, improving at the track. Like, some tracks, the improvement process, like, some tracks, the author time, the process of getting that, you feel like you're actually like improving a decent bit at the track, and then some it's just banging your head into a wall, especially when like on tracks like 6 and 10. I'm gonna be complaining a lot about 6, but like 10 is also a pretty bad culprit of this. Is you basically maxed out most of everything like in the first like major section. Like there's like very little variance in terms of like times that you do the ending in. So it basically just comes down to whether or not you get lucky. Whether or not you get lucky with like the very ending of the track, which I'm not a super big fan of, is for relatively the same reasons I dislike second half heavy balancing and Geometry Dash. But you know, I'm not the creators of the game, and even if I don't like the tracks themselves, I can admit that they are very creative and very well made. I just dislike them. There'll also be some moments where, like, I'll watch the ghost, because I got this game a few days ago. I'll, like, watch the ghost do something or get, like, a specific time on the track, and I'll just look at it and be like, how the heck did you get that? Like, I have no memory of what I did which, you know, I guess that's kind of what happens in, like, most... I got off to a really bad start. It's kind of what happens in most, like, I guess, racing games, but, you know, with margins as close as this... it can be incredibly frustrating sometimes. Cool, that felt like a really bad turn, but what do I know? Maybe I can still... Nope, I can't catch up. If I could, I would just, like, find some way to break the track in such a way where you don't where you can just skip right to the end, but unfortunately, the checkpoints in the race also stop you from doing that, so not really an option. Unless, although there might be something on this track, but I'm too deep in. I'm just gonna get the normal time. That was not good at all. So yeah, I basically just have to stall until... So I ordered a Corsair K70 a couple days ago. It's apparently really good for GD. A couple of my friends have used it, and when I asked them what keyboards they use, they're like, yeah, I recommend this one, which is good, but it doesn't arrive until August 31st, so I'm more or less just completely stalling until I'm actually able to play GD again. So I figured I might as well just make some, like, do some, I guess, variety streams in the meantime. Not variety streams, but, like, not Extreme Demon streams. So as close to variety as I'm able to get while still basically being a full-time GD. Not full-time in the sense of, like, I can do it as a job, but full-time in the sense of this is, like, by far my most common video topic, I guess. So I feel like with this game in particular, like, nuances play so much of a role, which, you know, it's kind of like that for GD too, but, like, not anywhere close to the same degree. Because again, like, when the margins between author time and not are, like, consistently less than 1/10 of a second, it can be hard to, like, make any mechanical improvements. So you kind of just have to figure out, like, what specifically about the course can be, like, changed, or what in your click pattern can be altered, like, by, like, a millisecond, stuff like that. So it makes it probably perfect for me, but also if I get frustrated, that's also probably not all that much of a good thing. But oh well, it's gonna happen. The best I can do is to just not let myself, is to just, like, stay on an even keel while I play, which, you know, historically I haven't been the best at doing, but that's something that I think playing this game will get me to work on quite a bit. And also just, like, as I go into harder difficulties in Geometry Dash, like, with levels like Bloodlust, Fog, Lumina, even Aphrodite in a sense, I'm gonna have to learn really quickly to just, like, stay at an even level. I can't be too high up or down. Well, obviously, like, after I actually do the thing, it's fine. But, like, when you're initially trying to do the thing, probably not the best idea. Which, granted, is not really helped all that much by the situation sometimes, but you just gotta roll with it. Oops, I did not mean to take a screenshot. But yeah, like, there, I was legitimately, like, just 0.02 of a second off. Or, like, 0.02 seconds off, I guess. That's not how you measure seconds. Alright, that was pretty good. That was not as good, but it's still okay, I think. Uh-oh, that might be bad. Okay. Now, minus 0.03, is that enough? No! What? I guarantee if I hadn't, like, wobbled at that particular spot, I probably would have got it, but... Again, no real point getting mad at it. I still might... No, I'm not gonna be able to catch up, dude. It's actually so over. Ooh, yeah, that was really bad. And, like, as much as I want to... Because here's the thing, the other thing of Nepestus that, like, sort of kind of got me into Trackmania, at least before realizing that there was something that I could not do, that I had to do in order to play the game in the first place. There was a map called Deep Dip 2, I think. I can't remember if... Possibly Shallow Dip. I can't remember if Deep Dip 2 was the original, or if Shallow Dip... or if Deep Dip 2 was just, that's all it is, or if Deep Dip 2 was a separate map that an easier version was made out of. Yeah, I don't know. And, like, like, even if Nepesta is mostly good at Geometry Dash, like, he's not bad at video games in general. Like, he's really good at video games. So the fact that it took him over 50 hours to beat a course that takes him, or that takes, like, 20 or so minutes in general, that should say enough. Ooh, that was awesome. I wobbled a little bit too much. Yeah, a lot of times it just feels like you're just kind of just clicking. And, like, I know that eventually whatever I do will be different enough and better by enough to actually, like, do or get the author time, but until that point. Yeah, there is some nuance to it in that, like, right there was nuance, because, like, even though I had a better start than the Ghost, they still were able to conserve their speed much better. Or is it conserve, or I can't remember what the correct terminology is, but, like, is able to keep the speed a lot better than I was able to, so they, on average, are going faster. Hopefully that made sense. Ugh. So I'm not gonna make any promises, so don't expect anything, but I might, with my hopefully increased streaming activity throughout this year, I might start doing some like non-GD streams from time to time. Again, don't expect anything concrete. It's too early to like make any like guaranteed promises, but depending on how I like settle into the year and I'm able to like stream a little bit more often and everything, and I'm able to stream for longer because all of a sudden one of the sources of hand pain just doesn't exist anymore. I might do some variety streams, probably not this exclusively. I do have a couple of other ideas. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking we try something else first. So let's see what the gold medal is like 23 seconds, so I'm guessing 23 and a half seconds, so I'm guessing the author time is like about 20. But it's the margins are so different from map to map that it's really not that easy to quantify. And as you can see, I am still very much off of the author time on this course in particular. For what reason, I don't know. Although I'm sure I'm gonna I'm sure I'm gonna get reminded of that really quickly. But oh well. Unfortunately, there's no like boost on that ramp, so if there was, I would just use the boost on the ramp and then just jump over to the checkpoint, and that would save like a ton of time. But you can't do that, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut off a lot of time. I'm gonna have to cut off a lot of time, and it's time that I don't really know if I can cut off or not. So we'll just have to see. Ow. Nope, not possible. It was worth a shot. Okay, so I think I was making good time there, but I messed it up by drifting a little bit too far and hitting like the more coarse side of the dirt, I guess. Ow, no. Jump, now just get the turn. Sort of. I mean, I'm not too far behind, but it's probably yeah, that's probably it. Ugh. I don't even think I would have got gold on that one. No, that's not gonna work. What am I thinking? Although I will admit the music does go quite hard. Like, if I was able to actually, like, hear my own voice, or, like, or not have it, like, not have the volume explode in stream chat's ears, I would probably keep it much higher. But, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, and I know there's also one where there's a very specific noise. That sounds like my smoke alarm. So, you know, probably best to keep that one off, or low. Ooh, I'm catching up? No. Even so, it's... yeah. I was catching up, but, you know, even then, just because you catch up doesn't mean you're guaranteed to stay caught up. So... realistically, how would you, like, if you had to do this to, like, actually get author time? That was bad. If you had to do this to get author time, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna move on to getting medals on some of the tracks that I wasn't able to either get or just do it all. So yeah, I usually enjoy having no car like when I'm first doing a track, especially one with this. I hope that was the right... Ooh! Yeah, kinda, let's go. So it's just helpful to not have the ghost, or like the example car, I guess. Ah! Where did I even end up? What in the... Wait, this... That was just the intended way. Okay, bro. Yeah, this game has its dumb moments, but it's also just so much fun. Let me just do this. Let's see. So I think... Okay, that was really good. Alright. That could be a problem. But it isn't, because I'm the greatest gamer alive. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I think it's enter specifically, so I'm hitting delete to restart the entire course. But for, like, if you just want to start at, like, a specific checkpoint, that's enter. So, yeah, I was on a really good run and then trolled myself super hard. But, you know, sometimes it happens. But man, it's frustrating when it happens, especially because I think I was, like, really well aligned to get the... to get either, like, gold or author. Dirt. I hate dirt. This is why I play Geometry Dash, so I don't have to touch grass. Ooh, that good. Could be much better, I think. Yeah, I lost a lot of speed. Still maybe good. Bonk. No. Yeah, if you like even so much as brush up against a wall, it's actually just over. This one still might be good. Yeah, this one's good. Should have probably started drifting much earlier than I... Guy! Oh my god. Right, let's see, it's a little bit slower on that one. But I can probably do this. Oh yeah, that's really good. Oh my god, I could not have asked for a better setup. Now just keep just going full speed ahead, and I probably have this. See, that's a much better... That is a much better... Well, that one's not really, because I bonked into a wall, but even then, I'm pretty sure I'm still going faster. So if editing me could confirm that, that would be much appreciated. Alright, if I'm judging the course timer right, there's only... If I'm judging the, like, medal times... Yep, that's the end. So let's see, what did I get? Oh, hell yeah, gold on the first try. If I didn't, like, stall out at a specific point, I probably could have gotten author, but I'll absolutely take a gold. So I think the bronze time for this is about like a minute one, I want to say. Nope, 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 nope. Ugh. I hate the acrobatics courses. Like, they're... At the very least, they're, like, most of them are, like, relatively short, so they're not that big of a deal, but, oh my god, they are extremely frustrating to grind out, so I'm not too happy about, something like this being prevalent. Although, maybe... Oh, yeah, that'll... So whether or not this leads to... You know what, I'm just driving off. Yeah, and then I'm gonna edit in like an explosion sound. It'll be hilarious, I think. Let's see, just keep going up. Not as good as it could have been, but also not too terrible, I guess. Probably gonna be like slightly, like a second slower. That's still not bad. I think it'll still... Barely just didn't have enough. Okay, game. At the very least, this game is so silly that it's hard to like remain mad at it for long periods of time. Nope. So go around here. Oh yeah, that'll be... So I think the play is to stop accelerating around here, and then... Alright, good start. How did he end up back? I'm an incredibly intelligent being, okay? Just, I am the smartest person alive. Don't question it. I think that time will, like, just barely... Okay, yes, just barely enough. Now stop accelerating for a little bit. And then do that. That! Just... Yeah, if you run into... Again, much like walls, if you run into a pole at pretty much any point, that is GG's for that specific attempt. Or you could just do that. And the game switching that area to first person as opposed to third person, that just makes it infinitely funnier. Alright, so I think I just gotta go around here, and then... Perfect. Yep, that should be... good? Kinda? What? So I'm just stuck, basically. You know, I'm just gonna let you sit there for a minute and think about what you did. And so once we get to like a certain point, I will tell a story that I was reminiscing on like earlier this week. Well, I guess earlier this week. This week has only been Sunday and Monday, but still reminiscing nevertheless. It's good speed, but just barely... Oh, yes! Oh my god, I was not expecting that at all, but sick. And I'm still making, like, decent time. This is probably at least good enough for, like, bronze. So go through here, then control. That wasn't bad. I think that's might be silver. Yeah, silver. I'll take it. What else do I have? I have this, which is, just horrendous, basically. As you can probably see by whatever the hell this is. Like, it claims to be an obstacle course, but it's really just an acrobatics course. It's a glorified acrobatics course. But honestly, this one in particular, this one isn't too bad. Even if it is what it is. That's not good. and yet I still somehow survive. Uh-oh. Okay, I am pushing my luck with every single one of these. See, that one was good. That was not bad, and I think I might have gotten silver. Maybe. Yep, silver. So let's try. What do I have all of these gold, except for this one, which, I mean, I'm guessing you can see just from the course thumbnail. I'm guessing you can see why it is my only bronze on any of the B courses. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of dirt and a lot of grass, which, you know, not great. Although it did seem like the... Yeah, okay, perfect, there was a stumble there. Ugh. And then, be careful, very careful. That was not very careful of you. So yeah, full second off, I don't think I can recover from that. Although, who knows, I did well enough after being flipped in the air, so maybe... Okay, so really good cut. The angle's a little bit questionable, but otherwise good. And then the ghost, like, stumbled a little bit, so I should be okay. Seriously. This game is hilarious. What was I even talking about? I forgot what I completely blanked on what I was talking about. If you wobble enough, there's no recovering. Let's see. A good turn. Slow down a little bit. That was too much slowing down. Especially... Oh, yeah, there's no recovering from that. And just try to... Yep, okay. A little over half a second off, but that shouldn't be too bad. Especially considering I have a little bit of wiggle room with that. Although not as much this time. Ah! I want to stop taking screenshots. I wanted to see if I could somehow weave in between the cactuses, but nope. That was basically a third of a second off, so not bad. And just stumble, but I'm also stumbling a little bit, so still able to recover. Now, can I just like go through the yeah, that's the sound that I always think is a smoke alarm. Ah, nope. This is one of the few games where you can say, oh yeah, my attempt failed because of a cactus, and have it make perfect sense. Close, but I need to take this much tighter. Yeah, that was probably GG's. Yeah, I barely even made it through the checkpoint. So yeah, I wish I had more things about my life to tell y'all, but really the last week has just been me preparing to go back to school on Monday, so that was pretty good. Okay, I caught up without even having to take advantage of a stumble. That was good. Okay, stop. Wow, that was a massive improvement. Oh, hey, I even got gold. So that is all of the that is all of the silver medals on this. I believe this is every race, at least a bronze. I'll work on these later off stream, so might as well try and get the final gold in the A-levels, which could take a while. Although I am, like, at most a second or two off, so shouldn't be that bad. Unless I do that immediately. Looks like I'm making decent time at the start. Ow. So yeah, as the classification suggests, these types of maps are difficult because they are incredibly... Well, the courses themselves aren't that bad. Like, the tracks are usually somewhat short. The problem is that you have to do them over and over. So, like, this one, it's 3, but... Apparently, unless someone in Nepesta's stream was just tweaking, apparently there's one that's like an hour for 60 laps. So like, that actually scared me. Why did that actually scare me? But yeah, if you mess up gold or even author on any of the endurance tracks, it's just even more of a punch in the gut than like a normal track or like a once is good enough track, because like unlike that one you've probably wasted at least a few minutes, and it's not like you could just restart after the This should be good. I could just take this, and then I'm gonna have to do something like this, and I mess up anyway. Although it seems like we're going at relatively... Nope, he's faster. Well, maybe... Nope, that's it. Oh yeah, earlier I was talking about Deep Dip 2, but I never got to finish my thought. It seems like it would be moderately fun for a player that, like, grew up with, like, Bennett Foddy games, at, like Getting Over It, Co-op, stuff like that, and like really enjoy those types of like, well, I guess Getting Over It is the best way I can describe it, just like endurance, more or less, but like different from the way that this track, for example, is endurance. So if you grew up with those games, and if you like those games, you're probably going to have a pretty good time with Deep Dip, but I did not, so go a little bit slower. That actually works okay. Although I think I'm still behind pace when it comes to getting gold. I think gold was like 108. Come on. I think I got it. I think it was 108. Yeah, let's go. So all golds are higher on this, all silvers are higher on this. This one was complete luck, and all of the blue ones completed as well. So, yeah, might as well go for a red, or sorry, a D. So let's see. What is this? I have a feeling this is gonna be. Oh, that feeling was. Oh no. I will unfortunately have to take a couple minutes, but shouldn't be too bad. Let's see. tough to immediately tell what I will and will not need for time away from home. This, and then, you know, it's good. I'm grabbing the V-Socks because they are awesome. Don't remember what this one is. Actually, nope, that just made it worse. Okay. This will probably want. Nope. So compute it. There we go. Ow. Alright, at least that only took a couple minutes, so yeah. Dear Editing Master Doge, who has to work around that, I'm so sorry. Anyway. Oh, come on. I'm honestly a little bit upset because CVS not being all that accurate about what it's doing kind of threw a massive wrench in my plans, because like time that this would be happening, or time that I would otherwise use for streaming, I get a call at any minute, so I cannot stream until I've figured it out, which is annoying to say the least. Right, cut that a little bit messy, but otherwise not bad. This could be bad though. Never mind. Just don't fall in the hole. That. Nope, not good. And with tracks like these, there's just no way to shortcut them at all. So you almost always either do make it or do not make it, or you could just do that. That also works, but not as efficiently. And it only works if you don't fall off of the thing. Alright, that was pretty good. A little bit messy. Wow. That was horrendous. I really don't like the slide things all that much. Can you tell it's just artificial difficult. It's just artificial difficulty basically, which you know, not a super huge fan of. Especially when there's a super duper fast one that you suddenly have to make a pretty significant turn to actually do the things. Actually, I wonder if that's intentional. I'm just gonna keep going. No. Bonk. I wonder, because I named the stream, what? Because I named the stream Click for High Quality Trackmania Gameplay. So I wonder how many people, once the stream is finished processing, I wonder how many people are gonna click on that only to find this. Something tells me I wasn't supposed to run into the pole. That seems like sort of what you have to do, but now I'm too slow to actually take advantage of that. So okay, that could have been much worse. I'm okay with that. And then this you probably want to cut like that, maybe. Are you serious? That was a tiny, tiny ledge. So while I'm in like the few minutes I have left to stream, I am going to tell a story involving tragedy, hope, and way too much butter. So last year, I want to say like around this time of the year, like late August, my stepbrother and I were home alone. Like there was legitimately no one else in the house for various reasons. So we decided to make mac and cheese because, you know, that's something that we can both agree on and it's pretty simple to make. But very important detail for that day is that we did not have any milk in the house at the time. So, you know, we're both scratching our heads thinking about what to do, and then I can't remember who suggested it, but one of us suggested, hey, why don't we just use butter in place of milk? So we got that. So we didn't know how much butter we were supposed to add. So we just threw in a full stick on top of what we were already using. So so yeah, that is. And then somehow, okay, well, my stepbrother and I would say it still turned out good or well. My dad and stepmom would disagree with that assessment. So yeah, that is how I made the world's greasiest batch of macaroni. I should probably call someone from Guinness World Records over and like say, hey, can you verify this record? So I don't even know how they would quantify or they would track grease related records, but you know, I think it'd be a fun challenge for them if nothing else. All right, so I'm doing that, but I'm still pretty good on time. Bonk. Okay, that was my fault, I will admit. That could be, that's not good. And the worst part is I probably only have time for a couple more attempts. We can take that turn. And we could do this and then just keep it like relatively, yeah, that seems good. Then wait, are you serious? My engine burned out. Ugh. I'm in. Fortunately, this is probably the last attempt I have time for today. So let's make it a good one. Yeah, expected. Oh well. So didn't exactly get a ton accomplished, but I think this is gonna be... I think this is still gonna be a pretty good video. I had a good time. Don't know if I'm ever gonna like fully max this game out, especially with these, but I'll try. So yeah, again, I wish it was longer. Pharmaceutical companies. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, so I'll get back on August 29th, and maybe I'll release the Deimos video then. Maybe I'll do a stream too, but I do not know. My Corsair probably still won't be there. So yeah, with all that in mind, see ya.